Welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the founder of Food Truck Training Group on Facebook, co-owner with my beautiful wife Melissa of our own food truck. It's called Food Truck 101, and I'm the executive director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. Today I'm going to be talking about menu design, one of the topics that we talked about at the Houston Food Truck Owners Expo just a couple of weeks ago, and I want to let you guys in on some of the things that we shared. Before I get into that topic, I want to talk to you guys about Table Needs. I want to thank them for sponsoring this episode of the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. Table Needs is a full-service POS system capable of handling your busy food truck, cash, credit card, and reporting needs. Check out the link in the description. There'll be more information all about Table Needs. Now, before we get into the subject, I also want to remind you guys about the Food Truck Owners Expo that's going to be in Orlando this year. It's November 12th and 13th. I'm going to be giving a couple of classes. I'll also be out on the main expo floor holding some campfire sessions so you guys can sit down and listen to the topic at hand, or you can just ask me some questions. And again, that's going to be in Orlando, November 12th and 13th of this year. If you guys would like to buy tickets, and I encourage you to please buy some tickets because it's an awesome expo. The one in Houston was amazing. The one in Orlando is going to be bigger and better. The tickets are available at ftoexpo.com. And when you do order those tickets, put in the code FTTG15 for a 15% discount. And I hope to see you guys there. So the topic at hand today is menu engineering, or menu design. Going to make you more attractive than most other food truck owners. So as a new food truck owner, or as a existing food truck owner, your menu is your most powerful marketing tool. People don't think of the menu as a marketing tool, but yet it is. People have no idea what you sell until they read it. That's marketing. A well-designed menu can not only draw guests in, it's designed to highlight your best dishes and your most profitable dishes, and then it will boost your sales. So we're going to talk about 5 things you can do to make your food truck more attractive to your guests. The first one is you want to highlight your signature dishes. You've got a signature dish whether you realize it or not. You're selling something that they can only get that flavor combination, that flavor profile from you. Nobody else sells it. And if you don't have something like that, you need to develop it, because that becomes your unique selling proposition. One of those marketing terms they love to throw about. Your signature dishes are the star of the menu, and they should be treated as stars. You want them to be designed with bold elements, bold fonts, colors that draw attention. Put frames around it, put circles around it, put a starburst. You want people to notice that product above all others. Because number one, it's your signature. It should be the most profitable thing, or one of the most profitable things you sell. You want people to buy those. So I'm going to give you a little action step. I want you to highlight your best offerings and then guide your guests towards those profitable dishes. So I want you to identify the 3 signature dishes that you have, the 3 things that they can't get anywhere else. Then I want you to make sure that they stand out on your menu with direct visual cues. And that could be a starburst. It could be a little ribbon that says bestseller. It could be a frame around the 3 of them, putting them up as a different color than the rest of the menu. Something to get people to notice it. You want to use descriptive and tempting language. The language that you use on your menu can influence your guest choices. Now, here I'm talking about your online menu. The menu that you have directly in front of your truck should be clear, concise. Let's get them to read it. If they have questions, they can ask the human cashier and then get an answer that way. The more words you have on your menu that's on the side of your truck or on an A-frame sign, the longer people take to read it. They should be able to read it and go, okay, that's a hamburger. I think I'll ask what the sauce is made out of. If you say, we have a special sauce. And then you can explain that rather than writing it out what that special sauce is. So make sure that if you're going to use descriptive and tempting language, you put it somewhere where it's appropriate and people have time to read it. Definitely needs to be on your online menu. And I would suggest that if you have a complex menu, that you allow people to download or look at that menu through a QR code. For the full menu description, go here and then send them there. But your basic menu, the one that's the decision-making point, needs to be a quick and concise read. It cannot have long, flowery words. So your action step is to rewrite your menu descriptions to include sensory and descriptive language that paints that mouth-watering picture for your guests, but put that in an appropriate place. It can't be on the side of your food truck, can't be on an A-frame sign because you don't have enough space. But it does need to be somewhere where people do the research. When people do that food truck near me and it brings up your website, that's where you want the flowery descriptions and the mouth-watering and sensory descriptions. because they got time to read because ain't nobody behind them. Keep your menu simple and organized. Keep it simple. A cluttered menu, a menu that jumps around, is difficult to read. It confuses people, and then they get that decision paralysis. Now, the answer to decision paralysis is just a couple of different things. The first one is they hear somebody in front of them order something, they just order that product too. That's creating a run on products. That might be a key indicator that you have a complex or confusing menu, so people go with whatever the person in front of them orders. The other thing that might identify you having a complex menu is people read the thing and then walk away shaking their head. Because there's too many choices, it's too difficult to read and understand, so they get frustrated, and rather than be frustrated, they just walk away. And then the third identifier that you might have too complex of a menu is they step up and say, "What y'all got that's good?" They want you to make the decision for them because they've been confused. They don't like what they read, but they're still hungry, and they think what you have, at least the first couple of things, sounded good. So they just ask you for the best thing you sell. What do you think you do better than anybody else? So don't get mad when you hear people say, "What y'all got that's good?" Try to figure out why they're asking you that. Is your menu too complex, too difficult to read? So your action step is going to be to look at your menu and eliminate anything that's redundant, anything that just doesn't sell well. It needs to come off the menu anyway. You want to ensure that whatever you do have on that menu is grouped together where it makes sense. Put all the burgers together, put all the drinks together, put all the side items together so that they're not bouncing around going, "Well, there's a burger there and there's a burger there. There's a burger there. What's the differences?" Put them all together. Make it easy for your guests, because if they don't want a burger, they can skip that whole section. They shouldn't have to read the whole menu and go, "Oh, look, there's 7 burgers in 10 different places." Keep it simple. Incorporate visuals wisely. You cannot have a picture of everything that you sell. If you do, all you've done is create, again, that decision fatigue where, man, there's too many different choices. So they're not going to look at all the different pictures and go, "Hey, I think that one looks good." You should only use pictures for your popular items or your most profitable items. And that's it. Everything does not deserve a picture. A picture means it's a star. A picture means you want to sell a bunch of these. Putting a picture of a can of Coke up there doesn't do you any good. So don't waste that valuable space with a picture. Just put up the word Coke, or Coca-Cola, or Pepsi, or whatever it is that you sell, because they already know what it looks like. You don't need to waste that space. So your action step, your homework for this, is select a few high-quality images of your best-looking and most profitable dishes and strategically place them on that menu. And it should complement the text. It should not overwhelm it. On our menu, we have, for our breakfast menu, we have 3 photographs. For our lunch menu, we have 3 photographs. Underneath each photograph, we say what the product is. So the people that are visual readers and the ones that are looking for pictures go, "Yes, I like that. And that is, okay, now I know the name." It's very frustrating to read a menu and see a picture without the name of the product being there. So now you're having to read through the text and go, "Well, does that match that pic?" Well, no, it doesn't, because it doesn't have the same condiments. Does that? No, that one doesn't either. So now you have a frustrated person. Put a picture, put a name. Hopefully they'll order from the pictures, and you made your life easier. Regularly update the menu based on what? Feedback and trends. Feedback is you asking for a review out of every single guest that comes up to your menu, comes up to your food truck. There's a QR code. Please scan that and leave us a review. Every comment we read and we take serious, and we need the feedback. Please help us to become a better business. And then the other thing you need to know is the trends. And the trends come from what? Your POS system that is telling you how many of each product you sold. Because there will always be a popular thing, and there will always be something on the bottom. And you got to decide, those things that are on the bottom, do they remain on the menu, or do we need to kick them out and get something else that's better in here? The only reason something that is floated to the bottom of your sales mix, the only reason it should stay is because it serves a specific purpose. For example, that's your only vegan item. So at least when somebody says, "Hey, you got anything there that's vegan?" you can say, "Yes, I do." I'm not telling you to carry a vegan item just for that reason. But if you have a product that you feel like you need to carry, it may not be as popular, but you're carrying it for a reason, so you go ahead and keep it. The same with gluten-free. You get enough requests, you put a gluten-free product on your menu. It may be the weakest seller you have, but because you've added it for a specific reason, then you're going to keep it. But what you want to look at is the things that don't really have a reason to be on the menu, and they're not real popular. Those got to go. The only things that we keep on our menu that are not popular are things that have grown out of a combination of other condiments. So deleting it off the menu doesn't help us any. We still have the same products. So what we do is we don't list it on the menu board. It takes one less thing on the menu board, making it less cluttered, but we still keep it in the POS system program. So when someone asks for it, yeah, we got that, no problem. And you ring it up, get it made. So that was 5 different things that you can do to help your menu become a little bit more popular and help make your life a little bit easier on the food truck. Remember, if it's going to be on the menu, it needs to drive sales. It needs to be there for a reason. If it's just there and you're not selling it, take it off. You got to make sure that your offerings are irresistible and that people want the things to begin with. Just start refining your menu today. I've given you 5 things for y'all to work on. Do the homework, because you're going to find that if you do the homework, your menu becomes more attractive, it becomes more profitable for you, and it puts you one step ahead of the other people that are just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. And usually when you fly by the seat of your pants, you land really abruptly and rip out the seat of your pants. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. Please take a moment to follow our podcast, and if you really like what we do, consider supporting us. There's links in the description to make that happen. Every little bit does help keep us going. Until next time, you guys have a profitable day.